Alright, welcome back to the GCM ScaleGarage. We've got a brand new rig review here for you for this fantastic off-road truck. And Aaron is here to show off this great rig, which he built with his own bare hands.
Two of them.
Two hands.
Two hands.
And as you can see, there's a lot of truck here, and it's got enough road rash to make Joe Ferguson happy, so we're going to have
It's still dirty, too.
And it's still dirty. Put away wet and dirty. I think you made a comment about the foams earlier, right? Because these bead locks have been together for how many years?
5, at least.
There's 5 years.
5 or 6 years now.
There's 5 or 6 years of stinky swamp in these bead locks, so
they're not coming apart.
That's great.
Oh, that'd be bad.
So, thanks again, guys, for watching the video, and we're going to bring you a whole bunch of these rig reviews, and we thank you for your comments and suggestions. As usual, there's an email for the Scale Talk bench here. You can sign up, send us your suggestions and comments at the email link right there. And it will be, of course, scaletalk@gcmracing.ca. So, all right. Aaron, what do we got here anyway?
So, we have the first SDX kit that came through the GCM garage.
The very first kit.
Very first one. So, when Axial released this kit, I knew I had to have it, and I don't regret pulling the trigger on that. I'm sure that could be said many times over. It's basically still it's essentially a basic SDX kit. It's not decked out with a whole lot of different goodies. Obviously, there's some very noticeable mods here and there. Obviously, the 2.2 tires. You have that front bumper, which is custom made. It's out of brake line, some scraps of steel, and I got a 3 racing winch tucked right in there. That guy is controlled, of course, by some HOK electronics.
Yeah,
they keep serving us well, you know.
So this was a kit and not an RTR. Why did you pick the kit?
Well, the kit was amazingly the first thing they released in the SDX line.
So this Honcho is so old that there was no RTR Honcho back then.
There wasn't, and it was great. It was a good way for me to get my hands dirty on a kit here, and you know, I did everything right with it. I packed the transmission completely full of white lithium grease. Yeah. I packed the axles full of white lithium grease. They're still going strong today. There's no ugly crunching sounds. It's not like you're walking across gravel and driving at the same time.
So no Rice Krispies.
No Rice Krispies. So it's really quite. It's served me well. You know, I should be going through it very soon to kind of go. You know, redo some bearings. Last time I drove it, I noticed there's some weird squeaking going on, and I'm pretty sure it's one of the bearings in the rear axle.
So the kit, it looks like, comes with all these metal links, eh?
Yeah. The only thing that's not from the original kit, as far as the link goes, is the 2 top links on the rear. We got a GCM 4-link truss on there. So,
oh yeah, out here in the back.
Yeah. So those are actually Traxxas rods. I do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. These are the steering rods for an E-Max, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah, and you know, we had it lying around. It worked, and my pinion angle is nice and healthy, which I always like to see.
Yeah, it is good. Really, so, really nice. Obviously this thing is all scratched up, but somehow you managed to get green paint on the top and silver inside. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, that's what you're seeing. It really kind of did quite nicely as far as the paint goes. You can see a nice little sticker on the back in homage to that. But what was done was put a nice silver base underneath, and then a green automotive paint was actually put on the top of it. Yeah. And when it wasn't as banged up as it is now, it actually looked pretty cool because you get a scratch and you see this bare metal showing through.
Yeah, it looks like that here. You can see it.
Yeah, it's really quite cool. The cage is starting to pull through the body a little bit here and there, obviously from a couple of tumbles down some big hills. And
yeah, big hills.
You can kind of see some right about here, you can see some of the body's gotten rubbed away and torn away from the big tires, and
yeah,
all with some really good cause.
And we've got the stock plastic housings on the axles here.
Yeah, stocks. Anytime something's broken, I've replaced it, and obviously there's a lot of stock stuff still on there, except for obviously the front bumper and that. So something's kind of broken, I've replaced it, or something I didn't like the way it was working was replaced, and a lot of the truck's still stock.
Yeah, it is.
To a certain degree.
And I think the scratches attest to the fact that there's hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of use on this thing. I can't imagine counting the milliamps that have gone through this motor.
It's just a great little truck.
Yeah, this is a fun truck.
Just a great little truck.
I was just saying to you before the video that I've got to get myself another build just like this, where I've got some kind of a frame rail truck that I can take out to do G6 and stuff, and I've got the 2.2s back on it, and I really like the size of tire you have on here because it's not a really big balloony 2.2.
No.
It's just a nice size actually for a truck this size.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can see much on the video, but so on the sidewalls of the tires, you can actually see how much use this little guy gets. You can see it's just chewed right up, and
that's just chewed tire right there.
It's left its mark on some rocks, and the rocks have left its marks on it.
Well, leaving your mark on the rocks, that's always a good thing.
It's very true, very true. So.
I see you've got a whole bunch of light buckets on this too. Is there some way we can power this thing up? And
yeah, I think so. I don't think we need the TX to do it.
Okay.
And we don't have any power.
Is the battery out?
No, well, battery's plugged in. I just plugged it in.
Oh.
That's weird.
Oh well, no lights.
No lights.
Well, let's pull the body off of this and
as well.
See if we can have a look at the powertrain here.
Yeah, so we're still running post still on this old guy.
Oh, of course.
We haven't upgraded to the fancy death grip Velcro on it yet.
Yeah.
It's
quick and easy body post.
Yeah, so you can see my connection for my lights.
Hey, look at that, eh?
Yeah.
So we can just unplug this.
Just unplug that, and off she comes.
So on the inside here, it looks like you've got all the headlights lit up too, eh?
Yeah, all the headlights are lit up.
You've got buckets made for the front here?
They were actually stock. They came as part of the stock Honcho body.
Oh yeah, that's the stock Honcho buckets, okay.
Yeah, and then you just, they were glued in.
Yeah.
According to the sticker on the back. And it, yeah, we let them up, provides a little bit of lighting here and there.
You got tails?
I got 2 tails. They're on all the time. I don't have any of the fancy Hey OK controllers in this guy. They're just on.
Nice. So, and you've got headlights and side markers as well.
Yeah, the side markers. We actually did them green. And,
oh yeah.
Little green LEDs, and they're not overly noticeable, unfortunately, through the sticker there. But I don't know. Maybe I'll take a razor to that sticker someday and get some green.
Cool. So now tell us what's going on underneath the body here.
Okay, so underneath the body here, you know, obviously there's just quite a lot stock still here and there.
Yeah.
You know, you have your front battery plate, you have your transmission in the center.
Yeah.
All stock plastic shocks.
Yep.
Preload set really high because of the big fat bumper in the front.
Oh yeah.
The big fat bumper is actually on a GCM front servo mount / bumper mount for the SCX.
Yeah.
That was actually the very first one we made.
So this, yeah, I remember this truck was the test fit for that bumper mount. I remember that.
It is. And, you know, one little neat thing to note is that you can actually screw little lights in the bottom of it. And
yeah, so you've got your servo mounted on the axle still here.
Oh, yeah.
In the stock configuration. And so you've got a couple of little light buckets actually bolted from the servo mount side.
Yeah. And it, yeah, they project quite well. They
cool.
don't provide a whole lot in front of the tires, but it's still pretty cool. I like it.
Nice. And I see here you're running a Castle Beck on there?
Castle Beck, an old original Sidewinder in there as well.
Down inside the radio box.
Down inside the radio box, in amongst the many, many wires. And, yeah, there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's performing quite well. It doesn't overheat, obviously. It's not under that much stress. You know, everything's still almost like the day I built it.
And what motor are you running in this?
HPI 35 turn out of Brahma buggy.
So a brush motor and stock transmission.
Yeah.
It looks like looks like the stock Honcho Kit gearing is in there too.
It is, and it's worked. You know, it has enough speed, has enough wheel speed. Sorry, and has enough grunt to get where I need to go.
It definitely does. I've wheeled with this truck many hours, and I can tell you that it doesn't need anything else.
No.
This is a really great setup, and it looks like you've got a couple of rock lights in the back here too.
I do. They point just in front of the tires. Nice to see where my tires are going to be going. If you can get that far, if you can get that close to it,
yeah,
it just kind of creates a cool little effect, you know, to the truck.
Nice.
We have some red tails in the back,
right here in the rear bumper replacement there.
Yeah, and I think one's out, and it's been out for about 3 years now.
Well, I think with if this was a full size 1-to-1 trail rig, I bet you'd leave the tail light out on that too. So
exactly.
Perfect. That's what I call keeping it scale.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's great. It's a great truck. I can't wait to get it out as soon as the snow goes away, and just lay some trails down to her.
So I remember in the few years we've had before this, this truck has been in a lot of videos on the GCM Racing channel.
It's true.
And I'm going to link a few of them down below in the about section. So have a look down there for some videos with this truck doing some crazy climbs and a bunch of scale runs. And I've seen this truck climb some pretty crazy stuff. So I think we're going to be able to link the videos down below and have a look at those if you want to see it perform. And so, considering where this truck is at right now and how many years you got running on it, what do you think are the next steps? Where do you want to go with it now?
I think I'm going to do a little bit of body repair, and that's about it.
Just tidy it up and keep going.
Just keep going. It's you know, it's a good rig for, you know, someone who's never driven a truck before. Has come out and they want to try it. I don't care if it rolls down a hill.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a rig that is pretty much bomb-proof, and you can let people come and take it for a ride.
Yeah, if they roll it, they roll it. If they don't, they don't. And it's a great little truck to quote-unquote learn on, too.
Sure it is.
You know, it's very capable. You know, you can put it in some situations where you wouldn't necessarily put a Class 1 rig.
Yeah, for sure.
And, no, everybody who's driven it's had fun. It's always been a fun truck.
So, as far as fun factor, I think you pretty much convinced us that this is top of the list.
Oh, very much so. It's definitely my fun truck.
Definitely a fun truck.
Definitely.
So, let's put aside the scale rules for a minute. Let's put aside Class 1. We'll put aside all the other classes. I mean, obviously, with the way this truck is set up, we're not going to get it to fit into Class 2 either. No. Because we're not using a scale tire on here. With a few other changes, you could probably get it Class Legal. But the point is, I think everybody needs to have a truck just like this. That's the fun truck.
Yeah. It's
the go-to fun truck where if your buddies call and you're going to go on, I don't know what kind of trail and terrain, you're going to bring a truck just like this, because it really doesn't matter what it is, what the terrain is, or who brings what. You could probably, I bet you could wheel this thing with a Wraith.
Oh yeah. It's kept up to your Wraith numerous times.
Yeah. When we've gone on lots of trail runs together, and you know, one of the funny things that we talk about every summer is when we're out on the trails with the smaller trucks, with the Class 1 and 2 trucks, it's always this conversation comes up, I bet you I could have done that with a Honcho.
Or anything that you can do, I can do better.
Yeah, I've heard that too many times. Yeah, that's true.
It'll go anywhere.
Yeah.
To a certain degree, it'll go anywhere.
Just seeing this thing again today for this rig review has just reminded me how much I need to build another fun truck.
Yeah.
And I encourage all you guys out there who have got one of these things, if you're thinking about taking your fun truck and turning it into a Class 1 or a Class 2 just to make it legal and make a bunch of changes, I don't know. Some of me wants to say maybe you should actually start a whole new build for a Class 1 or Class 2 and actually keep your fun truck the fun truck.
Exactly. You know, you keep something that you have something to fall back to. You can just, like, you can go out and you can roll it down a cliff and go pick it up, run it again, maybe fix a knuckle or something, and go. It's just something that you don't care. It's nice.
The unstoppable.
Indeed.
And of course, the altogether tough Lexan lid.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure this truck would make Joe Ferguson happy, because I remember when we were down there at the Scale Freak Studios doing the rig review on your Jeep.
That's true.
he just couldn't stop talking about how much he loves the Lexan lid, because apparently he's pretty hard on his trucks, and we've never seen him run. But if you look at this amount of scratches, I think this shows.
Yeah.
This is one tough truck.
It is. It is. It takes a beating. It really does. You can bounce it off something. You can crush it under something. It's done it. It'll do it.
If you happen to drive it under a car,
that's true.
It might get stuck, but it'll probably come back out in one piece.
That's true. That's true.
Well, that's great.
That's great. No, thank you.
So, except for the, I guess that means we're talking about stock Honcho kit. You've got, for mods, you've got the GCM 4-link truss in the back. You've got the 2.2 axial bead locks with the J-Concept, what are these called? Rock X tires?
Yeah. And
then, of course, a full custom bumper with the GCM front bumper mount to keep it all together.
Yep.
Other than that, this is a stock Honcho kit.
Yep. All the light buckets, even the little weird ones we have up underneath that front bumper, that's all stuff out of the stock kit.
Yeah.
So it's not like we went out and we bought light buckets specific for this build. It was stuff we got out of the kit.
Right from the Honcho kit.
It works.
Yeah, it does work. Take a look again down, guys, below for the video, and we'll post up a couple of links for videos that this truck has been in at the GCM channel. And thanks again, Aaron, for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Really look forward to your comments. Make sure you like the video so we get them up on the sidebar and everybody else can see these great rig reviews. Add your comments down below. Send any questions or comments into scaletalk@gcmracing.ca. And of course, subscribe to the channel. We thank you so much for your support. And look forward to another rig review very soon. Thanks again.
Awesome. Let's eat cake and turn up smooth jazz.
Let's eat cake.
Listen, turn up smooth jazz. Awesome. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
That was good.
That was good cake.
That was good cake. I like it.